Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. We'll do a roll call here to determine quorum. Baumgartner is out. Evers here. Ferguson here. I'm here. Howard here. We do have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order here. We'll begin the meeting here with a public forum. This is a time when members from the public can address council. We do have a number of public hearings later on in the evening here. And that's not really what those items are kind of separate from what this public forum is. This public forum is just kind of a general opportunity to address council. So if you have items to bring up that are unrelated to some of these public hearings coming on later, saving that for later would be kind of the best situation there. But otherwise, if you're here to address council on anything else, we ask that you identify yourself for the meeting record, and speaking times will be limited to 3 minutes. If there is any unfinished business to attend to after that, we'll definitely invite a conversation with staff and get some resolution to any issues out there. So if anybody is here from the public to address council, now is a great time to do that.
Yes, I'd like to know if they'll fix something about the thieving going on up at the 3 apartments north of the Hampton Park. There's too much thieving going on and people are getting where they are getting frustrated and something's gonna blow and they're gonna be held accountable instead of you folks or the police or whomever is not doing, or the owner of the Brown apartment, the center one. There's too much thieving going on, and we caught one person a couple years ago stealing a bike out the back of Erickson's apartment. So something's got to be done, or you're good. Somebody is going to go to jail or prison because somebody was stealing their stuff. And I've had 2 portable grinders, a broom or 2 or 3, a rake, a few other things going on by my pickup when I lived at let alone Erickson apartment, let alone the Cinder Brown apartment. Well, anyway, it's like, I could go somewhere with this, but I won't. It's almost like the business is telling you not to let that thing go on, because then we got to go buy more product and stuff like that. And makes their money, but we are getting things stolen from us out there. And I'm not the only one. There's about 3 or 4 people I get, if they were here yet, saying the same thing as I'm saying. And there's one lady that right now that's helping me at my house that lives up this in her apartment, the brown one. Said that she had a roll of quarters on her table and it was gone when she came back home. Somebody breaking in the windows or something, and her mother or lost some currency out of there too, and so something's got to be, and the owner doesn't let you know what is going on. Something's going to have to be done about that, or you're gonna have something that they're going to end up in prison that's got things stolen from them than the person that stole it.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. We'll talk with the police department here, and
I did that 4 times already, 3 or 4 times, and it's not getting done.
thank you, Greg. Okay, wonderful. I mean, not wonderful. That's unfortunate. All right. Anybody else here from the public here to address council? Thank you, Greg, for that information.
Please do something about it. Don't fight me. Do something about it, please.
Oh yeah, no,
Because if I do something about it, I'll end up in prison and prison will
we
steal
want
it.
that. All right. Okay, so anybody else from the public here to address council? You guys a little later there. All right. With not seeing any movement there, we'll close down the public forum portion of the meeting here and open up the next item here, which is the setting of the agenda. We've had the agenda here for a few days. and the consent agenda. Had a chance to look at all this. If there's anything from the consent agenda you want brought into discussion, that would be a great time to point that out. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Evers to approve tonight's agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, agenda set as written. We'll move down to the consent agenda here. It contains the regular meeting minutes of November 3rd. The approval of donations and contributions, just kind of want to highlight that. The Boersma family has donated to the Parks Department $465 worth of American flags to be used out at the West Memorial Park. I guess there's not a name for it yet, but the place where Flag Park, the place where the flags are always flying there. So special thank you to the Boersma family and their patriotic donation to the community. We also have 2026 liquor licenses, the approving of transfers, authorizing employment to full-time public works worker Ryan Kruger, the amending of chapter 90 regarding fire prevention and protection, communications hardware for the water and wastewater department, seasonal community center attendant job description, supplemental letter agreement for the 2026 taxi line reconstruction project, and then the October disbursements. Call for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motion. I'll second.
Motion's been made by Howard, seconded by Evers to approve the consent agenda. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda carries as written. We'll move right on down to business items. We've got a few items here where we'll be going through the public hearing process. So what that is, we go to the business item. We receive some staff reports, give the public a chance to comment, and open back up the regular meeting. So we'll start off with discussion item A, which is a public hearing for assessments related to unpaid mowing fees.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So with our updated nuisance process, we have really stayed on top this season of the long grasses, long weeds. However, we have incurred some unpaid invoices related to lawn mowing on residential property. So this is helping us to certify those costs. And the 4 properties that will be assessed, it's a total amount assessed of $1,620.50. They have been notified, they received a notice, they received a second notified certified mail. They had an option to enter into an agreement with the city to remediate the problem themselves. And if they didn't remediate the problem themselves, then the city remediated it for them. So that's where we're at for this public hearing.
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Is there anybody here from the public here to address council regarding unpaid lawn mowing fees?
There's one person I've talked to that you mowed their lawn and they ain't not gonna pay it.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Anybody else here?
What?
Okay, anybody else here from the public to address unpaid lawn mowing fees? Okay. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion of the unpaid lawn mowing fees business item, reopen the regular meeting. Move on down to a public hearing for variance application 2025 VAR 001.
Pam is gonna take it away for the staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. So I just noticed in the packet that I prepared a memorandum for you. This variance came in through the Planning Commission in the October meeting, I believe. Was with respect to, there are 4 properties that are all platted together. There was cumulative property owners, I believe, who are family members. Have requested a variance from the lot size of one of the lots for purposes of future resale of the one lot, but being able to retain the use of a garage that's on the other portion of that lot that abuts up to the existing properties that I believe they intend to keep. within the current ownership. And so I prepared a staff memo with respect to what just the legal standards are. So with respect to variances, the courts are pretty, they're very specific as far as the legal standard for granting a variance. And that is, as you know, variances not having to apply our code as written. And so, so the lots are okay. So I believe, I'm just gonna, so this is the lot, so correct me if I'm wrong, okay? So this is the portion that I think is intended to have a desire to resell this. And so this is the lot in question. Here's the garage that's currently being used, that's accessed through these other properties. Apparently this garage supports the use of this lot. And so the desire is just to readjust the lot lines, which is a subdivision under our code, a minor subdivision, so that would be, make this lot bigger and this small lot smaller. This resulting lot would be less than what the lot requirement.
If I understand it correctly, the actual adjustment of this.
I can bring up the plat map, everybody, to show the official one, sorry,
Where's this located?
wanted to make sure. Take a stab that it's in the 60s.
All right, well, while she does that, I'll just talk about what the courts say with respect to variances and the legal standards. We got it.
No, the
Okay.
county ones.
And so it is, there was a lawsuit in 2011, I believe. That talks about variances, so is this it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this property line is getting adjusted, right? Is that,
Yes.
Okay.
That one's getting added.
that one's getting added?
Yep.
Okay. And so is this, so both these, then this is gonna be its own independent lot?
No, then that's.
Then it's gonna be
combined.
combined with the one below,
No.
right?
The one below
One
us,
to the east.
to the east.
Oh, to the east,
Yep.
so that's where I got it wrong, cause I had said the one below, okay, got it. So this would be a larger lot, and then this is still the smaller lot outside the requirements. So the courts have said that used to be undue hardship standard, so just being able to use your property, that was creating an undue hardship, the zoning of the city was creating an undue hardship. That got changed, and so it's practical difficulties, and the courts have defined practical difficulties as something that is unique of the property and goes further to say a physical characteristic of the property and not something that is on the property because of a decision or something put there by a property owner. And that the variance can be allowed if there's practical difficulties for the property owners to use that property as it's intended to be used in the zoning district. So in this instance, it's really single family. There's some low multiple family, and then accessory buildings are allowed to be supporting the primary structure. So I know that Micaiah was at the planning commission and made the recommendation that there wasn't any practical difficulties, and staff had supported staff in the staff recommendation that there wasn't any practical difficulties. There's also other things that this lot does meet that's required, so those I'm not spending a lot of time on that, but it just needs to comply with the neighboring properties, not have any kind of use that's different from those, or that is not compatible with the area. That all is not a concern. It's really that practical difficulties test that isn't being met with respect to this property. So planning commission disagreed and really felt like the practical difficulty arose out of the previous property owner's decision of where they put the garage. And that garage has to have an traverses the access to that garage to get to that, to it through of that other property, and this would remedy that so that there would be access to that garage from the other property. I'll note, that the application to the planning commission indicated that the garage doesn't even support the house, so really it's not even a lawful accessory structure, because it's not supporting the primary use, it's supporting apparently a use on another property. So again, that doesn't come back to meet the practical difficulties of that particular property. I know that variances can be very frustrating because it makes logical sense, right? And that's what the planning commission was saying, it makes logical sense. But the council and planning commission and council do have that option in front of them if they generally think that the lot sizes are not manageable in the city, then we can go through a zoning amendment process to make lot sizes smaller. And as a result, these property owners would then likely benefit from that amendment to our zoning code. But that is something that would have to be an amendment to our code. So because of the recommendation of planning commission and their findings that the practical difficulty test is met by where that garage is located and how it's accessed. That's why you see two different resolutions in your packet. So really the job you all have tonight is to hear from the property owners, have that discussion about what that legal standard is and the practical difficulties, and then through your discussion, through seeing the packet, through hearing the testimony, make your decision and your findings. Those again, there's two different resolutions. They might not even reflect all the findings that you all come up with, but I certainly can edit those so that we can have written findings tonight, because that's what the other part of the statute says, is that you, as the Board of Adjustment who hears variances, needs to have written findings contemporaneously with the decision. So I certainly can pull those up and we can add in the additional findings that you have tonight. So that's my overview. I'm certainly open for any questions or clarifying questions based on my memo or what you're seeing here.
I have one addition to add. After hearing the testimony and the discussion at the planning commission, staff has fast tracked this to look at in our code, and it is coming to the next planning commission in December to examine lot sizes to see, and I think there is strong support at the planning commission level to amend our zoning ordinance to make those lower than they currently are. So we have heard that this is a priority of our planning commission. We are responding with the utmost attention to try and help rectify this issue through our city code.
So-
But Pam's open for questions.
Just so the council's aware, we're hearing this at council because we've kind of done away actually with the Board of Appeals. We are the Board of Appeals now, so that's why it's landing here. That hasn't made that other step, so that I forgot that decision was made here in the last year or two, but that's the process now, so. Just to kind of simplify a lot of this stuff, because I'm a simple man. If we can go back to the satellite image.
Sure.
Just, I wanna kind of just have a moment to represent the findings of the planning commission in a super simple way, because that's how I prefer to communicate. Basically, what the planning commission was looking at was taking this border here or whatever property line and kind of, just kind of shifting that up to cut off this property here, which would put this garage with this house. And that's how the actual use has been for those two structures for decades. So, but we enter into a legal problem with the lot size of this lot, then it doesn't fit the R2 minimum square footage. R1, pardon me. It would fit R2 minimum square footage. So, the code writers have determined that minimum square footage is appropriate. But it's not a tool that we have to currently work with unless obviously we adjust our guidelines for this zone specifically. So the planning commission kind of saw that as you know, we heard the same legal arguments and all that, and we heard the testimony from the applicants. And just took a really practical and pragmatic look at it and said, boy, this just makes sense to move this. But if there are other tools, other better tools that the council can use to make this happen and not cause long-term, you know, problems, legal problems. I think that's something we should hear about here.
And can I build on that a little bit?
Yeah,
So, while you were speaking, it triggered what else I wanted to share about in courts review it. So, let's say that this adjustment happened and, you know, nobody brings a lawsuit, everything's fine, right? Somebody down the road wants a variance that you don't like as much, or you don't think is reasonable, but what's your argument back as the Board of Adjustment for not doing that? And that what the court would look at as is you're being arbitrary, like you're just arbitrarily picking and choosing, and that's when eventually, if there was a lawsuit, or if a neighbor decided to bring a lawsuit in this one, which likely wouldn't happen, it sounds like, they have standing to bring it too, because everybody in the public has a right to have the code enforced when they open it up and see what the code is. And so really that's the other piece of it that I wanted to mention was when it's down the road that sometimes these become issues because of something that's happened before. And then courts will look at it and say, well, where's the reasonable basis? You had your code said a certain thing, and where's the reasonable basis to deny one but grant another? And the response of, well, it makes sense, works for us as a community, right? But it's not gonna work for a judge. So that's the other thing to think about. But to the mayor's point, we can change the lot sizes in the code. You can amend the code to do that.
so to just want to give the council an option here before we go into receiving an hour and a half of testimony, because that's what it was at the planning commission. And it was great testimony and we needed it because it helped us get to the decision that we got to. So we're faced with an option here that will fulfill the needs of these property owners and also set us up for the future with lot sizes that'll be better positioned to promote growth in town, right? So if I can get a commitment out of the council that that's the direction we would want to go, we can avoid the variance process and just write this into our code or amend the code.
Okay, so then the question that I have is, can we wait until the code is rewritten and restructured the right way so that it doesn't open us up for what Pam is talking about later on down the line? If we do this now, and then somebody comes in and says that they want a variance and we say no, well, how come not me, but they got theirs, now we're tangled up. What is the timeline on fixing our current code?
Yeah, we are bringing proposed lot sizes updates for R1 and R2 to the December 8th planning commission meeting. If the planning commission approves those staff recommendations and doesn't have a lot of changes or discussion or comes to some conclusion on their December 8th meeting, it can go for a first reading at the second December city council meeting. Then we would have to have a public hearing on that code update because it deals with chapter 152 of our land use code, which would be the first meeting in January, where you could have the public hearing on updating those lot sizes. And then ideally approval, if that is what is determined by this council, that they want to move forward with that. And then we would process this as long as those minimums meet as a subdivision request, where they are just looking to subdivide and then combine. So that is what we're looking at for the lot size review at the planning commission. It would be at their December 8th meeting.
So
And can I add to that?
Yep.
So there's an application that we have to make a decision on under Minnesota statute 1599 within 60 days. Unless the applicant agrees to an extension. So if there's any kind of distrust of what may or may not happen, we certainly don't know what's gonna happen, you know, with the planning commission recommendation, but again. They, you know, if the property owners wanted to extend their variance request so that we have that grace time, that we're not gonna get in trouble for it to be automatically approved within the 60 days, then we could take it. We could wait and see what happens.
And if you'll allow me, you know, council, as an observer and participant in that planning commission meeting, there was a lot of momentum towards this lot size adjustment. The planning commission sees it as something beneficial for growth. I believe it's something that meshes well with the comp plan,
Yes.
so we're also, you know, it's something we should do as well. Just outside of this situation anyway.
So it seems to me that the city is moving forward in the proper process to get this going. Are you?
In fact, we're expediting it, you know,
Nice.
to a certain degree.
After hearing the very strong input of our planning commission and our community members that this really should be looked at, we've moved it up in the priority list of planning commission priorities.
So the sign code will have to wait a little.
That already happened. But if we're done with staff reports, we can certainly open it up to public comment, public hearing.
Anybody from the public? I mean, I hope we could, I wanted to save a whole bunch of.
Well, I hope it's not opening up a can of worms for future zoning. I mean, but when you can see when it was built back then, they weren't thinking really too much about.
Yeah, right.
You know, driveway comes in from the other property anyway. There's no access from,
That was our whole problem, was the driveway.
you know,
One of our big problems was the driveway.
so to sell.
You can't use that driveway to get into the garage.
Yeah.
To sell the brother's house. You have to have the garage with it, but there's no access for it.
Yep. We totally understood that, and that was the reason why we went through the variance process, but if we can do this other process, it's going to fix this problem as
So
well.
what are we talking for time?
January
January.
15th.
Is that? So if we wait till January 15th, is that when you make it, then you may decide we don't want to allow that lot size, so then we're back to square one?
So I cannot speak for what a group of individuals is gonna do. I can say that staff is gonna strongly recommend smaller lot sizes where this would no longer require a variance application. And in my discussions with the planning commission, in my discussions with council members, and even in reviewing our comprehensive plan, there is a lot of momentum going to smaller lot sizes for that zone. So,
But my understanding of the word variance is like you're making an exception.
Mhm.
So why am I worried about what might happen with the lawsuit and may never happen? Because each case should be individual, should it not?
Right, but everybody should be treated equally.
We have to-
So if we allow it for you.
And if
it
they,
has to
and
be
if
allowed.
they have a house that they can't sell because they can't get to it, then I hope you would grant them a variance as well.
Well, and the best thing to do to protect the code, because if you do that for one code, then what really stands on any code? Not just the planning code, but every code in the city. So the city is willing to go through the proper channels to allow you won't even need a variance, you'll just be allowed to have that lot size.
If in fact it does go through in January.
So here's a strategy that I want you to consider is this extension of the variance request in case. In case it doesn't work out, then we revisit the variance, and I know that this has been a long process for you guys.
Over a year.
But I think we've identified a good solution, there's a lot of support and a lot of momentum to make this change, it's going to work out well for you.
Can I have just a minute to
Yeah,
point out a few
quick, I won't touch this.
Okay, as long as you don't get too aggressive with the screen lines.
Why do you wanna let him get up? Well, so what happened before I was, I hear you, okay.
You're already in the end zone. Whatever.
Somewhere it says that the city wants to shrink the street sizes, right? And short, smaller into smaller lots
We
also.
want, so yeah, we're talking about making the minimum lot size smaller, yes.
You see, and shrinking the streets, right?
So
You
it
can't,
the-
you can't.
Could somebody read that to me? You
You can't
have,
shrink width of streets. There's a required right of way for width
Yeah.
of streets, so you can't shrink.
but
width of
it, somewhere
street.
I read that the narrowing of the streets and.
the
and-
pavable surface
Mhm.
part of it, yes, so the pavable surface,
Mhm.
some of the streets like Depew are very large.
Mhm.
And then some of the streets are, let's say instead of 42, they're 36. I'm not, don't hold me to those numbers. But yes, but the platted right of way where that paved surface goes
Mhm.
does not change.
Okay. Because it's already narrowed there, you can see this is gravel. The issue is this driveway,
That is,
maintaining,
the line isn't exactly right there.
the lines are not quite right here. You can see it on the surveying better, but anyhow. You can't see it on the map here, but from this house to that driveway is about 3 foot of slope. So there's no moving the driveway. The issues is who's gonna maintain it? Once there's a easement granted, or if we had a, there's no access to here. Somebody's gonna have to plow this. There's nowhere to push the snow other than back here and then back onto the other lots. This line straight through here puts this house onto that lot. Everybody is fine. All the distances, setbacks or whatever are right. The only thing wrong is that few feet of square feet in the backyard. Everything else fits all your requests or whatever, yeah.
Thanks, Lonnie.
Good. You're keeping me short. That's.
I don't want you to sink your own ship, buddy.
You have a parcel, yes, already.
If you talk about, all the issues and things. This is going to create an issue, right? I mean, that driveway to the other homes and properties.
And if somebody else buys the property, you're gone, and what's gonna happen?
Somebody wants to buy that whole property, I'll sell it to them tonight.
Right and not.
A deal right now.
I'll throw my house in.
All right. Okay. All right, anybody else from the public here to address council on this specific variance? You guys got your stuff out on the table, you think?
We're good.
All right,
Before you all leave though, because it sounds like the solution we're coming from is to extend this variance request by 30 days, right? To hedge your bets,
in case.
to kind of see if it goes through the zoning process the correct way, the city code is updated, you still have that variance request in the system to appeal if something different happens.
No.
If that's the way you'd like to go, we do need you all to sign all of the property owners of this, so I think there are 4 of you.
No, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not on
She's
there.
not on.
No, we're missing
Tammy's not.
Missing one, we can have her sign it in.
Okay, so we do need something signed so that we, again, we
And
have
it can
that.
be emailed too, but I think I would, Wednesday, where is Wednesday?
It would have been.
The application was September 24th, 2025.
Okay, so,
Sunday, November 23rd.
okay, so January, what's after the.
Don, can I ask one more question?
Is it about this variance? Is it about this variance?
I was just wondering about what's the right of way from top of the curb into my place? What's the distance, 13 feet, 17 feet? From the top curb or the bottom of the curb at the end? I just was wondering, you know.
It's from the middle of the street, right?
Well, that's the way you measure, okay, yep, got it then, I understand. I thought it was
All right,
from the
so
top of the curb.
before you all leave, if I can just get, signature just agreeing to the extension until January, and then you can just, if we can get an email with from the other property owner, just verifying that he's in agreement, and then council will want to table this. The
Just,
motion
you
would
need to
be,
come in tomorrow or?
she can send an email, just
Oh.
as long as I have something in writing,
Okay.
it needs to be in writing. So the motion would be, to table it to, the January. No later, for consideration no later than January 19th, 2026, as requested, by the property owners through a written extension.
I'll make that motion.
One second.
Motion's been made by Howard, seconded by Ferguson.
Marissa.
To table this, variance request to no later than January 19th, based on an agreement with the property owners. Any other discussion?
One quick question. And I'm raised all this on my yard, okay. Am I understanding that when we wait these days till this comes? At that point, if you don't decide to change these sizes, then the request will come back into play.
Correct.
And that means how many meetings later would that decision be?
It would be that night.
Okay, great.
January 19th.
And maybe somebody wants to, if somebody wants to come and walk out there. When, you know, if you wanna look at the property physically, you're certainly welcome to come and look and see how. You know,
I'm sorry, it's gonna be January 20th, January 19th is MLK Day.
So
Sorry, just caught
I
that.
have to revise the motion.
You revised the motion.
Advice to the 20th.
Second.
Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. I forgot that one.
And then we have.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, David. No.
Oh, you have to say.
This didn't need to be a 2-hour long conversation. It's what I was just giving you.
Great? Oh, fine. That's all great.
Yes, sir.
Is that your first?
Take it easy, girl.
I told you about that light bulb.
Thank
So yeah, if you
you.
could just have Wendy email Marissa.
Thanks, guys.
That'd be
great. No, not Wendy.
Tammy.
Tammy, sorry, Tammy.
Send you an email.
Yeah, Marissa an email
send it to me.
Okay.
Tammy,
about the extension.
Okay.
Tammy.
For January 20th.
January 20th.
Okay. Pardon the unorthodox process there, but.
Good job, everybody. That was.
Okay. Next up is discussion item C is a public hearing for subdivision application 2025 sub 001 submitted by Kubash Brothers Land LLC for the preliminary and final plan known as Renville County Highway Department Addition.
So, we have received a letter of intent from Renville County regarding their proposal to construct a new public works facility on 12 acres. This facility will be their primary public works department shop. It will provide heated equipment storage, material storage, office space for public works and the soil and water conservation. The subdivision application creates a parcel that Renville County needs to complete the sale of land from Kubash Brothers Land LLC to Renville County. So that is what we're currently discussing this evening.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody from the public here to address council regarding this this subdivision application?
That's you guys.
Gary McCrell, I live across the street to the south. And it was my understanding when we had a meeting on the airport zoning. That nothing would be built out there or couldn't be built out there because of the airport. And all of a sudden this comes up. And county wants a new building. And I am kind of worried about what it's gonna do to my property value. And whether or not there are any plans in the plan that they have to surround it with trees or whatever in order to keep dust control and everything else out of sight, so. That's my,
I can answer this. So when we did the airport zoning, the reason that the county, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the reason the county chose this spot was because of that airport zoning that cuts off through here. The only portion that is affected here is a small corner. So this is only in the safety airport C. So they are able to build in this area as opposed to this side, which was the original plan by the county.
so where are they? What are, they've got stakes clear to the south of
Here.
the gravel road.
Let me pull up the GIS.
And I have not seen anything, so.
Already have the website up.
Yeah.
I thought it was
This is so handy.
Here you go. So this parcel is gonna be roughly about to here.
You want me to zoom out for the airport?
Which I live right across the road from.
Well, the gravel road, so this is meets and bounds, so there is actually no right of way here. What the county is proposing to do is plat this into an actual road. This road will now be 66 feet wide, this one will be 80. Up to right here. They're doing,
So what is the road now?
there is not technically a road there, it's meets and bounds. So it's actually what we would call a presumptive right of way. All township road has gravel roads, which you are able to drive on those presumptive right of ways.
Right,
But in the city, we have to plat them. So the city or the county has added that into their subdivision to plat that road.
So they're gonna put a road across there now,
There is going to be a platted road there.
between which buildings, that Max's Grill?
no,
No, sorry, the gravel roads that you drive on now are gonna stay the same.
Yeah,
it's gonna stay the same?
they're not
No.
paved.
No, it's not paved.
No, it'll be real.
No, they stay the same, save gravel.
So where's their access gonna be at?
So right now, the county is in the planning phase of what their building will look like. In order for them to subdivide this, they must plat it prior to purchasing it. And that is what this is proposing. The next step for them is to design the rest of their facility that will be on that property.
So is there anything platted in the design in order to protect my property?
Well, your property,
You're
Does it-
right,
your-
are
your-
you asking about the
your
right
property-
way of the road?
your
for
property
you
is
on
in-
the road? That it's going to become a road now, so it will, your right will be protected, right?
for your access, are you concerned
Yes.
about access to your property?
Yes, for
Yes.
him driving.
Oh,
away.
there's-
Access is right here.
There will be no change to any access in this area.
The roads are staying?
Yeah.
Also? The roads are staying.
Yeah.
So where is their access gonna be?
That will be into their facility.
Yeah,
They need to subdivide this prior to making a site plan. That is, they have to do this first.
They don't have a
So
site,
They don't have the
they
site
don't
plan.
know where the access is gonna be yet, is what she's saying.
Yes.
So it's gonna be there, but they don't know how they'll get to it yet. This is the part, phase one of the plan is to get permission to do that subdivision. And then phase two is to say, this is what we wanna do on it, and this is our access, and this is our access that we're gonna have into that building.
so what rights do I have in order to protect my value of my property so it doesn't depreciate?
It won't it probably won't, I mean, we never know what's gonna happen with, the county does that part, no, I'm just kidding. But if that's. You'll be fine on that part. You'll be fine, you're not gonna lose access, everything for you is gonna stay exactly the same.
So do they have anything in their plans then for putting tree lines around the outside of it or anything?
They're not, I don't think they're that far
We've
yet, are
talked
they?
about everything, but nothing's final at this point.
So.
We need to get this phase done first before, we need to buy this property from the Kuveshes before we can even move forward with anything.
Yeah,
You're gonna keep me in the loop?
As much as you wanna be, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
have multiple meetings, and again, Jeff will keep you informed to whatever degree you want to be, and obviously we want what's best for every citizen here. We in no means want to make a property that's going to devalue anything in the city or make anything worse for anybody. That's never our intent.
Well, I didn't think it was, but. it's
I was
kinda-
worried about
this
you,
whole thing
worried
brings
about it
something-
increasing your value.
What's that?
I was worried, I thought you were worried about it increasing.
Well,
your
it
value.
does increase in value, you know,
So
but it's still gonna stay a gravel road, not a paved road.
Is it staying gravel then?
That's probably going to be a point of conversation. with-
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
so
would-
the process is that this has to be platted, property hasn't been sold yet, correct? So then it has to be platted to be purchased. And then the county's gonna have to come up with an application for a conditional use permit, because the use is not automatically permitted. And so the planning commission will look at the permit for the conditional use and can put conditions onto that permit. And then they also have to prepare a site plan as well. And that is where, so when everybody says they don't know, it's because a site plan hasn't been prepared yet. And so that site plan also needs to go in front of planning commission and then ultimately to council. And either body can also make recommendations or put contingencies on the site plan as well. So
Your concerns are valid, you're just, right now, your cart is way in front of the
Yeah.
horse,
Well, see, this,
which is okay.
I didn't know anything about it till I got the
Yeah.
letter.
Yeah. So what, in the breakdown, this is way step 1 and you're at about step 15.
Okay,
Stay involved, most definitely, because your concerns that you have are 100% valid. And as the process goes on, where they start working on their site plan, that's where you're gonna wanna be involved, because you're gonna wanna say, this is my property, I don't want all the dust, so I want some trees here, I want a sound buffer here.
Sound
These
buffer,
are the
yeah.
things that I'm looking for. That's when your voice is gonna be heard the loudest, sir.
okay.
Mr.
Mr.
Commissioner,
Mayor, if I may, I would like to suggest to Mr. McCrell here as well, that I think his voice needs to be really heard at the conditional use permit planning.
Yeah.
I think that's where you guys would entertain that idea of this affects us, we have it all the time with the solar panels and those things, that's when people make their voice their concerns, and then again, you guys have the codes and the things that you work against to try to protect Mr. McCrell. So if, I don't know if Elizabeth or Marissa can keep him informed of when that is. Again, we obviously would like for nobody to show up, but that's not right. That's not right. You know, what's right is for him to be able to come in and voice, and anybody else that feels like we're hurting them, because that is never the intent, as you guys know.
If you prefer, we can either continue sending you letters, we can also keep you in the loop via email if you'd like to share your email with Marissa. Those are 2 different ways that we can make sure that you don't miss a notice where this issue is
How
concerned.
about both?
We can do both, just please make sure you give Marissa your email before you leave.
Please, before you leave, get that to me. I do believe in the conditional use permit, process. You'll receive a letter just as you had for this. I do believe it requires a public hearing, so there will be another public hearing regarding that conditional use. But prior to that, if you want any communication, if you want to ask any questions regarding how this project is going, feel free to reach out to me. I'll give
Okay.
you can give me your email before you leave.
Alright.
Okay.
And generally, a new building by your house increases the value, just, as a general aspect there, so. You
So
should be okay.
are they gonna put a road through here? No, I was just asking, I don't know.
I don't know yet either, by golly, all right.
Mr. Mayor, only one other thing. to
Yes.
say. I just want to thank the staff for last week and for expediting this. This is we're up against some timelines here, and our problem shouldn't be your problem, but it is, and that's where we're at. And I want to thank Marissa and Elizabeth for keeping us informed. Obviously, when I saw the email that there wasn't going to be, because we didn't have enough people for the planning commission, didn't have a quorum. That's right. I got to tell Jeff. And to expedite this to tonight, we really, really appreciate it as the county, and this is, believe it or not, this building is looking to be built in 2027, and we're up against the clock. Think about that for a second. So I wanted to tell those other people, welcome to government, when they said it's been a year for them, this is pretty normal, so. I don't know if Jeff has anything to add, I do a lot of talking, so.
You're in the end zone, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to add to the application here tonight. A lot of work ahead of us.
Any other comment from the public?
One little thing, now, if I'm not mistaken, you said there was gonna be a road maybe put two.
I don't think that's been decided yet.
Okay. just
No,
put-
he was talking about the road that's already there, the one behind
Okay.
Chrysler there, that's what they were pointing at.
Oh,
It
I
already.
thought it meant in between, Chatterbox and, the tire company, there'd be another road. Okay, no, I misunderstood then,
All right.
pardon me.
Thank you. All right, very good. Anybody else here to address council regarding this, this preliminary and final plat known as RCHD edition? All right, very good. We'll close the public hearing here and reopen the regular meeting, only to go into another item here that'll the public hearing for the assessment related to 1106 Ash Avenue abatement.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm gonna just give a little bit of an overview before Pam dives in. But just city staff has been dealing with this property since May. When it was initially encouraged to take advantage of the city's first annual cleanup day. So since then, the property has been visited multiple times by our staff to see if they have complied, to see if they have cleaned up their property to what our standards are here in the city. And unfortunately, it has not. So we have pursued this with our city prosecutor as well. And now we are also pursuing this issue with our city attorney. So I'm gonna let Pam take it now.
Mr. Mayor, Council, so this is pursuant to our code as well as state law. So there is under chapter 463 of state law, there is a process for abating nuisances, and our code reflects that in chapter 92. There's also abandoned vehicles on there, so that's also reflected in our code under chapter 94 and under 168 of the state law. So how the process works is staff's been trying to work with the property owner. There was notice of violations. A couple of them, I then send a letter and we said, hey, you've gotten these notices. You need to clean up your things or we're gonna bring it in front of council. So what's council's role in it is to look, I'll walk you through the property. And so then if you can have you can see some pictures, if you have any discussion on that, if you feel as though it is in violation of our code and that it is creating a nuisance, a hazardous condition. That's what the purpose of our code and the statute is to protect against those dangerous conditions in our city. Then you can you can review the resolution. You choose to adopt the resolution then directs me to order this property owner to abate the nuisance. So then we serve that order just like it was a civil lawsuit. The property owner has 20 days to either enter into an agreement with us if it's going to take them longer, or fix it or address it. And if they don't do that, then I can go to a court and I can say, here's our code, here's state law, here's pictures, here's the notices that we provided. The property still is in a dangerous situation and a nuisance property. And then the court will enforce your order that you agree. And that also allows us to go onto the property. So I always am very hesitant to go onto private property without having a court saying, yeah, you can go on there and fix it. So, so that's why we're here tonight. So I'm just going to show you some of the pictures. Also, as an aside, the chief did a great job of trying to work with the property owner, and then your criminal city prosecutor did bring action against the property owner, and the court had ordered a deadline in the criminal court to have that remedied, and it did not get remedied, as you'll see. And so there's another hearing on that. So we're trying to remedy this from both the criminal and the civil. So if it gets remedied through that criminal process eventually, then that will make the civil process unnecessary. So here's the pictures. You can see that there's materials, junk vehicles just sitting in the yard. And I believe there was there's more pictures than this that that will attach to the order, which shows other hazardous materials and tires But there's lots of garbage. And so that's the same pictures that are in your packet as well. Do you have any questions for me?
You got any real decent reason why they can't get done?
No,
They
No.
don't want to.
procrastinating. A lot of excuses, I worked with Marissa. There was at one point supposed to be a building permit applied for, which would have been the items, worked with Marissa, she said. I've never received an application, this was months and months and months ago. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt, obviously it was happy. Schedule process to make them, they what they are.
So easier to see that
Yeah,
way.
these are
So
easier to
you can
see.
see a lot of construction materials and just junk, debris. And junk vehicles.
It's like energy to fill up the yard.
Well, and it's unfortunate that they didn't take the opportunity to utilize the
Dump day.
The
dump day.
cleanup day, yeah. Again, they did come out and provided us with a, oh, I'm gonna use this for this. They didn't fill out any of the necessary paperwork to do so. It's just delayed the process. So we did try to work with them initially and just haven't been getting the results.
Well, looks like they have energy to organize the junk, it's just not here, but it's a nice straight lines. Yeah.
It is, we still didn't find this acceptable.
Yeah, no, I agree, I agree.
You're correct.
Doesn't defeat the fact of what's there.
And when you get junk like this piled up and with tarps over it and who knows what's under there, then you get some infestations and animals and all of that. And that affects all the neighbors. I mean, not only is it an eyesore for neighbors to look at it, it can bring critters.
And then to go even a step further, if you end up with an emergency situation in there, we're putting guys at risk unnecessarily if there was a fire or something in that area. And they're just dealing with all that unnecessarily.
And certainly by the council in its consideration, if it decides to approve, directing me to serve that order, the property owner still has additional time, still has, right in my order, as you can see in the packet, it was an exhibit to the resolution, brought to us, enter into an agreement. And we notify them that they can, if they would give an estimate of cost for remedying that, but if not, then the city would go in and remedy it. They can have it assessed into their property taxes. So I mean, there are still options where this is not straight to court right now. So, so it gives yet another option.
Property owners are here to discuss it. You did, come on, folks. Didn't know you were here. So, see right up on the front table, we're gonna grab another chair. Juan, Michelle, are you guys, folks?
Oh. You can set up the table. Okay.
Yeah, now'd be a great time to, offer some public comment on the property.
Didn't clear, we cleaned up. We're still here. That's what we keep.
So these pictures were taken on November 12th. Has something,
It's November, the 17th, so a lot changed from there.
okay, have we driven by the property again since the 12th?
I don't remember when I submitted the picture. No.
These were the 12th, the pictures were the 12th.
No problem now.
Okay. We have pictures of the 12th.
Okay. So all that's gone now, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, we can go through all the pictures.
So, council can either choose to deny not adopt the resolution. You could table the resolution to check to make sure that the situation's been remedied. Or you can approve it contingent on if the situation's been remedied, then you don't direct me to serve that order. So you have 3 different options.
We just table it to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Yep.
I get a motion from somebody?
Make a motion to table this item till next meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to table the assessment relating to the 1106 Ash Avenue abatement business item till the next meeting.
Which would be December 1st.
Any
Even
others?
though we've been to court already and everything, we've already resolved this in court.
That's why it's tabled, so that they can go and see that everything is
Oh, I
done,
understand.
and then we won't.
Just saying that we've already cleared this with court.
There's two different stuff. They're doing the civil and the criminal. That's why there's different.
So
bloodlines.
if they drive by and see it, then it won't even be on the agenda for that. So it's just tabled right now until they check out what you're telling them is the case, and then once they see it, then it won't even be on the next agenda.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, we're gonna move down to resolution 115, which is the certifying of the unpaid invoices for lawn mowing. Obviously, we've been bringing this up here over the past weeks here, and now it's time to move on a resolution. Anybody need a refresher on this?
This is for 4 properties.
Make a motion to approve resolution 115.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 115 carries. Item F, that's
We'll
that's
need
been
to
tabled.
table the resolution as
Okay.
well.
Call for motion to table resolution 116. This was for the variance that we heard on earlier.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Motion's been made by Howard and seconded by Evers to table 116. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, table 116 is tabled. Move on to resolution 117, the adoption of the preliminary and final plan known as the RCHD edition. Taking some public comment on that. I'll call for a motion to approve resolution 117. Motion's been made by Evers and seconded by Howard to approve run 117. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 117 carries as written. We've tabled the conversation regarding resolution 118, so I'll also call for a motion to table resolution 118.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Howard, seconded by Evers, table 118. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. And item I, or refuse collection.
Yeah, so thank you very much. We have received an inquiry from a business owner in regards to mandatory refuse collection. And we're seeking city council's direction for this issue. So in discussions with our city attorney, Minnesota statute does say that a city may exempt a residential household or business in the city from the requirement to have solid waste collection service if the household or business ensures that an environmentally sound alternative is used. A process for this or this type of exemption is actually not laid out in our city code. So I'm interested in hearing council's direction if this is something that they would like to put into our code, if this is a process they would like to create. I have drafted what a form would look like should we choose to permit these exemptions in our community, but kind of looking for council's direction on if this is the way you'd like to go, or if you'd still like to have the requirement to have trash collection.
I guess my first question would be, would this be in violation of our contract with West Central at all?
No, because remember I remember him saying when we made the new agreement with them, that he said that it was fine if people requested it like this, that they would have to request it like this, so. That's
I
what
haven't seen
recall,
anything
but
that would
we-
violate the contract. We can do some close review. Again, it's laid out in state statute that
It's a statutory provision, so.
that there can be an exemption.
So there can be, okay, so.
As long as we have, as long as we provide for that.
Guess me personally, they apply for it and have it, they prove that they have a way to dispose of funds.
Right, I agree.
So that would require an amendment to our ordinance.
And staff can work on that to amend the ordinance. If that's kind of the direction that I'm hearing you all.
Was this what you were recommending?
I think it's smart to align our code with Minnesota statute. I do think we will have to look at every instance that uses this application to see if they actually meet the threshold for exemption. I don't wanna set the procedure that just because I fill out this exemption from garbage and recycling, I get it. I really want us to make sure that we're hearing the requests that we receive to make sure it truly is, kind of fulfills those different check marks.
Is there any way to put something in there, Pam, that states if we like notice that it's piling up on your yard, then
Yes.
it's voided?
Yes.
And you're forced to get the garbage?
So the state statute doesn't even require a city to have an ordinance. This is something that is discretionary for councils for their communities, is that they may allow an exemption as long as there's proof of environmentally sound alternatives. And so we can really look at other jurisdictions and see what those types of criteria are so that you can ensure that it's environmentally safe and that you'll have some kind of enforcement if it's not, if it doesn't get followed through with, so.
Is there a note in the application, the level of proof that's required for this, or?
So the one that I presented in your packet, was joined with another city, wasn't stole, but just reused.
Recycled.
Reinvent the wheel, it's all public information.
Stay for the pay me for trash.
Yes, so.
Talk about refuse, isn't that recycled?
So it's recycled, it's a recycled application.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councilor Howard, exactly the word I was looking for. So that's what you see here in your packet as what another city uses, and we could recycle it to be utilized for our community as well.
And we can take a look at it, knowing what the council has talked about tonight, and that it would be useful to have some criteria in there. We can certainly take a look at that and add some additional things.
Yeah, like some sort of time frame, or if there's like a complaint about something.
Well, it's already illegal to have garbage bags sitting on the front yard, you know.
Yeah, so that we could put into.
No, what I'm saying is that at that point, then the application is void.
So we could write
You're
that into
voiding
our
the
ordinance.
ability to have the exemption because you couldn't follow through.
Yeah, so we can amend our ordinance, if we choose to create this exception in the ordinance as part of that amendment to the ordinance, we can include some language about if violations happen, then the exemption goes away.
The other thing that I would be concerned about is if the applicant has an environmentally responsible method of disposing of their garbage. Environmentally responsible versus still being a nuisance to the neighbors, i.e. somebody has a compost pile on the back line of their fence that is larger than just your average compost bin that you would be using. If somebody sets a pile up and now you've got rotten grass and rotten food and whatnot like that, that is an environmentally responsible method, if depending on who you speak to. But at what point does size or the actual nuisance of that odor become a problem? Because I can say that, yes, I'm going to use that in my garden next year, but it needs to sit there and rot all summer. You don't get to sit on your deck and enjoy having a cocktail out in the backyard because you're smelling that stuff fermenting all summer long.
Well, the council member that's not currently here today has a compost pile. I mean, as long as you're turning it, I think they.
Right.
They don't, I go to his house all the time, I don't ever smell it.
I think what Councilman Howard's getting at is we're we're putting this environmentally responsible. Qualifier in there, and it's really a subjective term, right? I mean, what's our,
That's why we would draft some language.
Right.
We can make it less subjective.
I need
yeah.
to learn more about refuge and garbage and how we can put that into. But criteria.
It's like we're approving it.
No.
Those would
We're
be-
not approving it right now, we're just
Yeah.
getting your input on what direction you'd like staff to go.
That would be one of the questions. Cause that opens up a whole Pandora's box with so much other stuff as well that.
I think there's something in our code already with compost, pretty sure there is.
We have stuff about the compost site,
I think.
but I'll have to look closer about that. I was really looking at the, I was really looking at our code about just the refuse section, so.
If it's not allowed, ignore what I said about the other council members instead.
Mr. Mayor, Jeff just mentioned something to me that John Mitchell could be a resource for you guys if you.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
He eats and lives and breathes this.
Yeah.
That's
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the garden.
so is the council aligned to ask staff to keep pursuing this then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Reports, any reports from staff out there?
Sure, so I did meet with our Cornland USA partners. And we are working on the operating logistics of this new community asset. You'll see in the notices and communication, they are anticipating a ribbon cutting for Cornland USA at 4 p.m. on December 4th. This past Thursday, Friday, I was at the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities Conference, so we got to work through some really good case studies regarding Minnesota paid leave law. I'm really thankful for Jasmine and her role with HR that I get to have a surface level understanding and she goes into the weeds. We also got a legislative update. We got to be involved with the state of Minnesota, their long range planning for this. We heard from a cannabis business about their operations, as well as we learned how Grand Rapids has an autonomous vehicles program. And they're really innovating the rural transit space. So they have these driverless cars that do have a safety officer in them, just in case for right now, since it's a testing program. And they help their residents get from point A to point B. So really cool that they're thinking of different ways to do things up there. So yeah, those are my two kind of reports out.
Any other reports from staff?
Well, I will just, I don't know if Elizabeth shared with you, that Micaiah sadly left and went over to the league, so you will not be seeing her.
No.
I know, we're very sad, but she's at a time in her life that maybe needs are hard, so.
We're still gonna try and coax her to move back to Olivia.
Yeah,
That league job can be a remote job, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, we had a planning commission meeting a week ago. We talked about accessory structures. And other exciting planning stuff. That's about all. The EDA meeting was there was no business to bring before the board there, so no perks, you know. Any other reports from the council? Okay, we have some notices in front of us.
I will say one notice I forgot to put in writing, but November 20th, the Olivia Fire Relief Association is hosting turkey bingo at Burley's. So if you haven't gotten your turkey yet, stop by Burley's, do a bingo. But yeah, the other notices and communications, you can see December 4th, ribbon cutting, downtown holiday tree lighting at 5 p.m. The 24th, City Hall will close at noon, and the 26th, City Hall will be closed all day. Official holidays, staff will be utilizing PTO for those closures, should they choose. If they want to come in and work on something, we just won't be open to the public.
With no further business on the agenda, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Howard, seconded by Ferguson to adjourn. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.
Thank you.